Hello. The following guided meditation was delivered during a recent non-duality session. The attendee was pointed to a couple aspects of the guided meditation. The first one is that you do not have to close your eyes during guided meditations or self-inquiry in general, but it is suggested to because the lure of the manifestation is so attractive that it is hard to remove our attention from it and draw it back onto that which is pointed to, which is ourself. The second one was to notice that every time that I speak, I'm actually drawing your attention away from yourself, right? Because you're turning your attention onto the words to try to grab some meaning from it, which is okay. That's what guided meditation is. But the critical piece is taking what you have hopefully heard in those words back into yourself and so-called apply it to the inward experience of your being, right? The goal here is to bridge the gap between a mental, conceptual, intellectual understanding of what is being said and draw that into your heart so that you experience it directly and inherently. Just a reminder, I do give free one-on-one non-duality sessions. You can book online on my website at www.loveoutpouring.com. Take care. Just allow everything to be as it is. Whatever's running through your mind, whatever thoughts or images or ideas, just let them be that. Don't resist them in any way. The same goes for your body and the sensations you may be experiencing. Whether positive or negative feelings or emotions, you just let them be as they are. Notice that nobody does being as you are. Nobody does the running of mind or sensations in the body. Being as you are is just happening as it is. Notice the absence of effort it takes to just be here and now. It's in the absence of motion in which here and now happens. For who would do motionlessness? Motionlessness and the absence of action is done by nobody. And in the absence of action, and in the absence of motion, stillness is experienced. Notice that nobody does stillness. Stillness just happens as it is. Stillness is not a practice. For who would practice stillness? It's not a method. Because there's no action needed for it to be. Yet in the absence of the action, in the absence of method, in the absence of a doer, you are experiencing stillness directly at this very moment. So in the absence of activity, in the absence of action, in the absence of a doer, something still remains. that which remains is you. You are the presence that remains after everything other than yourself has been relinquished. This presence of yourself is being. Being is what's being directly experienced after you've relinquished your mind, your body, activity and action, and the doer. Continue turning your attention back to the activity of stillness, which is paradoxical because it's in the absence of activity is in which stillness is experienced. And it's in the experience of stillness is when being is experienced. Notice that being has no borders. You can turn your attention anywhere you want and extend your attention as far away or as deep as you want to in your being, and you will never find an edge. Being does not have limitation. It is limitless, making it totally free. You, the presence of being, are total freedom. Notice that your being, this total freedom, has absolutely no resistance. It is the absence of resistance. It's in the absence of resistance is when the absence of internal agitation is experienced. Being has absolutely no idea what internal agitation is, because its true nature is the absence of resistance. This absence of resistance and the experience of agitationless is known as peace. And you are experiencing this directly at this very moment. So by turning your attention away from action, you experience stillness. And in that stillness resides the infinite, eternal being of yourself. And self, being, has no resistance because it has no borders. And therefore it's directly experienced as peace. Notice that the presence of being needs nothing else added to it to be whole. For what could you add to the infinite being that you're experiencing at this moment to make it fuller? It needs nothing else added to it to be whole and complete. You need nothing else added to you for you to be whole and complete. When you're whole and complete, you have no lack. And when you have no lack, you do not desire anything. When you do not need or desire anything because you are already whole and complete, this is the experience of happiness. Happiness is the total fulfillment of desire. Happiness is the absence of desire. Notice that your being, yourself, that's experienced in the stillness cannot separate itself from itself. There's nothing outside of being. There's nothing outside of yourself. You, infinite being, have no idea what separation is. In the absence of separation is total unity. The definition of total unity is love. For self does not understand the term other because it can't step outside of itself. It only knows itself. It only knows the love of itself. When the distance between self and other collapses, unconditional love is experienced. So, in the absence of action, in the absence of a method, and in the absence of a doer, stillness is experienced. And the experience of stillness is the direct experience of yourself. That which remains after all activity has been relinquished. And in that experience of yourself, you witness the most beautiful attributes that you can experience. You experience directly total freedom. You experience peace. You experience happiness. And you experience love. So in your meditation practice, utilize these steps. Turn your attention away from your mind and body and doer and to the experience of stillness. And analyze this stillness. Investigate it. And in that investigation, you'll realize that it's not completely empty. That there is a presence there that remains. And this presence is you. And you are what you have been after your entire life. And the more you rest in you, the more you rest in being, the more familiar you will get with its qualities and the experience of it. And it will become easier and easier for you to turn your attention to it because you'll understand it. And what it delivers when you rest in it are the beautiful qualities of peace, happiness, and love. And the more you rest into your being in self-inquiry, the more you will start to experience it in your day-to-day life. You will take your meditation and what you've experienced there with you into life. And that is living a life of ever-present happiness. the ultimate goal. So realize you do not need anything other than yourself to know yourself. Self-inquiry is the practice of path elimination. The path of knowledge is destroyed back to the one truth of yourself. This is the relinquishing. This is the understanding that happens in self-inquiry. That's why it is so critical to somebody who truly wants to experience their own true nature is to practice self-inquiry, to experience the love of themselves. You can slowly open your eyes as needed.